From now on, it's all about us. Starting a family, buying a car, our first home.
They told you to open an account, then turned you away. They said, come back when you're ready. You said, we're ready now.
I know we're going to make it.
Hope makes it happen. Thousands of your neighbors, many who never had a bank account before, improved their lives with Hope Credit Union. You can too. Brighter futures begin with hope.
Hey, I have a fever.
I don't feel so good either.
This is not just 1 hour delivery. This is fast relief for those who can't take a time out. Walgreens.
Something amazing is happening here. In a world of data, people are accessing critical information quickly and securely. That's because CDW architects are building infrastructures with unified data storage from NetApp. With the flexibility to run workloads across any environment, providers experience less downtime, giving them more time with patients. Make amazing happen. NetApp and CDW.
This is not just delivery. This is knowing even superheroes can use a sidekick. Walgreens.
All right, HBCU Legends fans, it's Kyle T. Mosley here with HBCU Legends, as well as the Black Sports Insiders, and we finally got her on the air with us today. You guys know her from her great predictions, her breakdowns of what's happening in HBCU basketball, but she's also a vet of HBCU basketball and a Hall of Famer, and we'll talk a little bit about that as well. We're none other here than with Liv Intilla. How you doing, Liv?
I'm great. How are you?
Good, good. You guys might know him better from Liv For Hoops, right?
That's how normally people have to introduce me. They're like, oh, Liv For Hoops? Yeah, of course.
Now we know who you're talking about, right? So, but look, you've been doing a fantastic job over the past several seasons talking about what's happening in the hoop scene, especially with the women's hoop scene. And I wanted to just kind of talk to you a little bit about what has been happening so far in this transfer portal. Is very active right now, and what has been happening in the postseason. And we've been having some coaching changes and moves, and probably we'll see quite a few more in place as well. But first, talk a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm a graduate of Florida A&M University. Obviously, if you know, I played there for 2 seasons, 2014 to 2016, and I'm very thankful and grateful for my time there. And I am a graduate, as I said. So it was an amazing experience being able to play at FAMU and give my time. And, I have a very long history of playing. And so I just love being able to cover the sport and give back to what back in that time, it wasn't really, social media was there, but it wasn't as prominent as it is now and as heavily used and focused as media outlets. So, just covering and giving these ladies and these teams and the men too occasionally the respect that they should get of being covered as a sport.
Look, guys, she's being modest. Over at FAMU, I got your stats. I think you averaged 15.3 points per game, right? In the 2 seasons you were there, and you rebounded close to 4 rebounds per game as well. All right. Look, she's being modest right now, and she has some games. She got the handles right, and I believe that was back in the 2015 season.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. So you were with the Lady Rattlers for 2 seasons. What did you get your degree in?
Funny enough, it was an agricultural business, which everyone was like, that's so random. And I'm like, I know. I initially wanted to do business, but being a transfer, back then when the transfer rules were a lot more tight and stringent based on when you could play, I just shifted to ag business, which being from the Midwest wasn't really a problem to me because obviously the Midwest is filled with a lot of our agricultural output and product. And so that's what I majored in for 2 years there. And that's what my degree is in. So.
All right. Now, what part of the Midwest? Are we talking about Ohio, Illinois? What?
Minnesota. Probably.
Minnesota. Oh, really up there, right?
Yes, as high up as you can get. So.
Okay. All right. I kind of date myself, of course. The old joke from the Prince film, Purple Rain. You need to baptize yourself in Lake Minnetonka, right? And all this other stuff. Are you close to that area or a little bit further away or what?
I work close to Lake Minnetonka. So
really?
Yeah. Everyone here, you know, obviously Prince is probably the most known person from Minnesota, at least to like outside people. People don't know anything about Minnesota besides saying Prince and, oh, it's cold and snows there all the time, doesn't it? So yeah, I work close to there. We're the land of 10,000 lakes, and we truly do have like 10,000 lakes here.
Yeah, yeah. I heard it's very beautiful.
It is. It is. That's like a misconception. People are like, it's never warm there. I'm like, if you come here during the spring and the summer, it's really one of the most beautiful places. We have amazing lakes, hiking trails, all of that. It's really beautiful.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. You know, guys, if you didn't know this, I'm a huge Prince fan, number one. I was part of his fan club. My wife and I used to go to, we went to 7 concerts.
Oh, wow.
Before he passed away. So we were avid Prince fans, and I played his music when I was in high school as well. So, I mean, actually played it. So I am all about Prince. But the thing is, I loved about what's happening in Minnesota. Of course, you guys got the Vikings. You got some great sports teams up there. But you are a great sports person yourself, winning 3 state championships in basketball. Is that correct?
I went to the state championship 3 times. Yes.
3 times. Okay.
Yeah. And I went, so Minnesota goes up to 4A here. So 1A through 4A. And I went both as a 3A and 4A. So yeah, I've been on the big stage of being a state champion, which was, you know, only 4 teams in this state get to do it on a yearly basis. And I did something a lot of players don't get to do, is get into the championship 3 times. And even just getting to the state tournament. A lot of people, like Minnesota has a lot of great hoops and great basketball. And, you know, a lot of people know, obviously, Paige Beckers. And if you're familiar with Hampton women's basketball, there's Ashley Bates, who was, she was player of the year and defensive player of the year in the same season. She's from Minnesota. Kiara Mimi Wheeler, she's from Minnesota. And so there's a lot of great hoops here. So to be able to accomplish that 3 years in a row was, you know, nothing short of a great feat for me.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Thank you.
And you were just honored by your high school to be a part of their Hall of Fame. How was that? How did that feel?
Yeah, so at my junior college, I was inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Junior college, okay.
Yep. I was really surprised when I got the email. I actually called the AD because she used to be one of the coaches. And I was like, is this spam? Because, you know, like the spam people are out. And she's like, yeah, of course it's real. So it was just a really amazing moment for me. And at the event, it was very emotional. My grandpa died during that. I only played 1 season there, and my grandpa had actually passed during my season. And so that was the last time he got to see me play, was when I was at that school. And so it really meant a lot more. And my junior college coach was also my AAU coach. And so we had a real relationship, and it was just to be a part of that and have him speak to me, speak on me and his experience of coaching me was amazing. And I was by far like the youngest person in the room who was being honored. So I felt just a little bit more, I wouldn't say special, but I just felt like, wow, like I'm by far younger than a lot of these people who their pictures are in black and white of when they played here. So it's amazing. And it also feels really good to have put in a lot of work because I lived in the gym. I was always watching film and trying to be the best player I could be. So to be honored in that way, it felt great that like my hard work was, it was put into something, and something really special came out of it.
That's great. Work ethic is very important, especially when sports. A lot of people believe, just because you have talent, you can just do whatever, but still have to cultivate it. Who inspired you to get into basketball, and who inspired you to continue to play basketball through your years over at FAMU?
Yeah, so my grandpa, they're from northern Minnesota, and him and all of his brothers, actually his record just got broken like 2 summers ago.
Okay.
Most points, like him and his brothers, it was literally our last name all the way down the record book for men's basketball. And so
really,
that's kind of what obviously we had a relationship, but that's what bonded us a lot, is that I was the only grandchild to play basketball. Everyone else did other things. And so we were really close with that. And then obviously just my family support. My mom is a huge basketball fan. And so they poured into what I wanted to accomplish, which was training, staying in the gym, just actively trying to be the best player that I could be. They were supportive in every single journey that I had. And then to get to FAMU, I just knew that was where I wanted to be. My family close.
Now, did they recruit you to FAMU, or you just wanted to be at FAMU?
It was kind of like both. A very, very close family friend, he went to Florida A&M University. He was a huge part of their SBI program. For those who don't know, School of Business. And so he bridged that gap. And then once they brought me on an official visit, it was just kind of like a no-brainer for me of just how it felt being on the campus. And obviously I was born and raised in Minnesota. And despite what people think, Minnesota is very diverse. But I was ready to really branch out and just be somewhere really different. So Florida obviously is way different than Minnesota, and FAMU just felt like the right next step for me. And like being able to go to an HBCU, it was kind of a no-brainer for me.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you did. And now you're making an impact on the other side, spotlighting and featuring some of the people, especially on the ladies' side, that hadn't had that spotlight. But in my opinion, women's basketball, just like women's tennis, is more exciting in a lot of ways. Yeah. Talk about this season, because I wrote a piece and I felt, after evaluating the recent years of HBCU basketball, this has been one of the more interesting and more exciting postseasons that we've had in recent memory. Talk about that in your opinion.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously we've had teams who have been successful and gone to the postseason, but to have specifically 4 women's team make the WNIT, that's never happened. The 2 auto bids, one from the SWAC, one from the MEAC, but then to have 2 teams receive those at-large bids, I think just speaks to the success they had in the out-of-conference schedule. And that was Howard, Texas Southern, Alabama A&M, and Coppin, all very worthy of getting there. And that's why we saw 3 of the 4 teams win their first round matchups, which we all love to see. Right. And then to see North Carolina A&T make the WBIT, although we all would have loved to see them win the CAA and get to the March Madness big dance. They went, and although it didn't result in a win, they still got selected because they were first in the CAA. And then obviously the amazing success of Southern being the first SWAC women's team to ever win an NCAA tournament game. Yeah. And mind you, they went in there and they just handed it to them.
They dominated.
They did.
Yeah.
Really just, they did what Southern does. And if you watch them play all season, like, I was not surprised when I saw they were up as big as they were at halftime, because they were a defensive-minded team. Yeah. And then seeing Norfolk State get that 13 seed, which they deserve to be that high, and go in there.
It could have been higher, right?
But I said that loss to Green Bay by 1 point was the difference between, because Green Bay actually got the 12 seed and they got the 13 seed in the same region.
Gotcha.
I believe if they would have beaten Green Bay earlier in the season, I believe they played in November, they would have been swapped. So they could have got the 12 seed, but I was like, oh, I understand because they lost to Green Bay, who got that. And to see them just fight against Maryland the entire game, like I remember on the broadcast, they were saying, oh, Norfolk State is keeping up. And I was like, they're not keeping up. They're competing. There's a
Diamond Johnson was balling that first half.
And then Mimi came in the second half after some foul trouble, and she started doing her thing. And so
that's right.
I was like, they're
not. I think it was what, 32-30 at halftime?
Yes, it was.
Norfolk State and how they can just keeping up. I don't get it, but go on.
Right. And so, seeing all the women's qualify for postseason, D1, and even the D2 ladies, like having two teams from the CIAA qualify. Obviously, Fayetteville State doing the back-to-back champs and getting the automatic, but Virginia State, who was ripped off last season because they had just as good as last season as last year, they go and make it. And even the NAI, I don't want to leave anyone out. The women for the NAI with Xavier and Langston getting to the round of 16 in the national tournament, which was the first time ever for both schools. The women are just putting on, like they're just representing, and they're doing such a good job of winning these games and building a stage for themselves to be on, of being like, no, this is not just, you're not just going to like look past us and think this is going to be an easy win. We're here to represent not only our universities and ourselves, but HBCUs as a whole. So you guys understand this is not an easy win. This is not a game you just put on the schedule and you can look past us. Like, we are here to compete and we're here to represent. So.
Hey, I have a fever.
I don't feel so good either.
This is not just 1 hour delivery. This is fast relief for those who can't take a time out. Walgreens.
Something amazing is happening here. In a world of data, people are accessing critical information quickly and securely. That's because CDW architects are building infrastructures with unified data storage from NetApp. With the flexibility to run workloads across any environment, providers experience less downtime, giving them more time with patients. Make amazing happen. NetApp and CDW.
This is not just delivery. This is knowing even superheroes can use a sidekick. Walgreens.
Now Taxes is getting the TurboTax app and filing your taxes yourself 100% free if you didn't file with us last year. Pay $0 when you file by 2/18. All tax forms, all 100% free. Now this is taxes. File free in the app by 2/18. When you switch to TurboTax, do it yourself.
HBCU sports fans, get ready to go big. HBCU Plus is making a big move to the UEN app.
It is a wonderful start to this one.
All of your favorite HBCU games are now broadcasting live on the UEN app. But now you get even more with G League basketball, NAIA, and Miami-Dade High School sports.
Do you believe it?
It's time for you to go big. Download the UEN app to get in on all the HBCU sports action and so much more right now.
So,
man, yeah, you said a mouthful. You said some bars as well in doing so. Because think about this, like you said, because I was here in Houston at that WNIT game with Texas Southern, first time ever hosting, as well as for Howard, the first time ever hosting, and they both win those games. when it came to Texas Southern against, I think it was the Gales, right? And it really was a tense game. It didn't have to be as tense, but Texas Southern was only able to dress 8 players that game. And but it came out to be one where you could tell from Coach Skeet, as well as Treasure Thompson and Fan Troy, that it was a sense of relief. And it also was a sense that we didn't really fail in the SWAC tournament. We fell short.
Yeah.
You got me. So it wasn't, it's like, we know we can compete. And I think it speaks a lot for the program going forward. For Southern, as well as Howard. Howard has some very great talent out there as well. So I think when we're looking at next season, you got to be encouraged, right?
Yeah, I mean, I would say a lot of the names you said are already in the portal, which is just something we can expect. But I think the building stones of what programs did this season is a selling point for teams to use. Like, we may have not won the conference tournament, but we got to postseason play. And I think that's big for a lot of players, is they want to be on a team that can compete for a championship, that will be playing past their conference tournaments. And so I think it's definitely a selling point. And I think a lot of these coaches, they, especially when we're speaking on like Howard, they know how to get players there. That's never really been an issue for them, as they've shown through Coach Grace's success of being a head coach there. They've been at the top of the MEAC year after year after year after year. And so for Coach Skeet to have a really, really successful season this year, filled with a lot of transfers, I think she may have found like her formula of like what really works and getting kids to buy into a system. And that's really what it is like the whole thing with the portal and transfers is you have to get kids to come to your program who are going to immediately buy in to your culture, what you're trying to build, because otherwise it won't happen. You just have to have immediate buy-in. And usually when you see that, you'll see teams be successful earlier. So I think that there's a lot of positives moving forward. And there's just, although money is the motive for a lot of people, I also think that a lot of players also, they want to play at HBCUs because they want to be around, people that look like them. They want to be immersed in culture for whether it's their last year or their last 2 years, or whatever the case may be. We'll see the shift of a lot of players from PWI. Like, they'll do their first 2 years and then they end up at an HBCU because they want that experience. And side note, I also think social media has helped a lot with that, of making HBCUs more known and aware, like the culture that lives at HBCUs. Obviously, if you're in the South, you were probably born and raised and grew up around a campus of one. But for like a lot of kids from the Midwest or the West Coast, when social media wasn't big, if you weren't around people who knew about HBCUs, that was a foreign concept to you. Like, you didn't know what you didn't know. And
yeah, but that is true. That is true. And I'm not disagreeing with you. What I've noticed also, you have the efforts of like a Coach Prime on the football side. And now you have the rise of, let's say, Coach Larry Vickers and Coach Robert Jones, and what Dawn Staley was able to spotlight about Coach Vickers' program a couple of seasons ago after they played them in the postseason, right? All of that really has kind of brought us to this point where you have people like, okay, HBCUs, they're not an afterthought anymore. And now this postseason where they've competed on a higher level, won games, right? Especially the ladies, and as well as look at what Alabama State has been able to accomplish. You got to say, okay, we can't take these HBCUs lightly. So all of that has been the perfect storm, so to speak, for HBCUs.
Exactly. And I was just saying, like, back when social media wasn't as big, I think that all the access to social media of like TikTok and Instagram, of people being able to spread information a lot faster and a lot farther, has made more awareness of HBCUs. And like I said, the Dawn Staley clip still goes like viral, and it was brought back up of the moment she had with Mimi, because obviously we know Mimi Wheeler went into the portal, and that clip went viral again of kind of how she was speaking on her. And so when we have coaches like Dawn Staley using her platform to uplift HBCUs and be like, no, like they shouldn't have been a 16 seed. This team is not a 16 seed. It really makes everyone kind of look at the NCAA and kind of look at themselves and be like, well, what were we looking at that we placed them there?
Yeah, well, that's been the issue for a long, long time, and it's how that selection committee actually goes about picking the teams and the strategy behind it. It hasn't been as transparent. And that's what a lot of people have been asking for, more transparency to be able to understand how you come up and derive these brackets. And even there's been some questions from the big Power Four guys. They don't like some of their seedings and where they're positioned there, right? In these regionals. I'm like, hey, man, you guys got there. Chill out. But all right, let's talk a little bit about the portal, man, because you did say, well, let's stay with a team I'm familiar with. What's happening with Texas Southern? You said there are some people in the portal there. Is Fan Troy now in the portal?
She is. She also posted her graphic. As we know, that's this day and age, every kid's posting their graphic about with much and this is no like disrespect, but they're like, with much consideration and talks with my family, I've made the hard decision to enter the portal. And so she is one. And Jada Belton went in as well. Those are two. I'm trying to look at my list quick. Those are two for sure.
What about Loudermill? Has she gone into the portal?
So I actually think it is just Jada Belton and Fan Troy right now. They have until April, and Claiborne.
Okay.
And that's it. So they have three from my quick look through my list of HBCU D1 women's basketball portal entries. So, they still have a bulk of their players who aren't graduating, as we know. I think a few are from their team.
Yeah, Treasure is graduating. We know that. And is it Holmes?
Deja Holmes. I think she is.
Deja is graduating as well. The one concern because she was under concussion protocol was Henderson, the point guard. We wanted to see how she was going to fare. And Courtney Loudermill did not play. It chose not to play the postseason, and that brought speculation, of course, that could she be a part of the transfer portal. So hopefully we'll get some clarification there. So when you evaluate the transfer portal, there's a lot of movement, so to speak, where people are entering the portal, but not everybody will get those significant offers. So likelihood, a lot of people may stay. Is that right?
That depends on the coach. Due to just the landscape of college athletics, once you go in the portal, a lot of coaches have to immediately move on. They have rosters to fill. They have to recruit. Like, it's really, I say, and I mean this with a lot of respect, coaches are, during that recruiting period, they're really salesmen of like, I'm selling myself, my program, my school, my culture to get you to come here. And so with the portal, towards the end of the season, you're having those conversations with your players like, are you leaving? Are you not? Do you kind of want to stay? If I want you to stay, what can I do to get you to stay? And so once you are trying to recruit your own players and they decide to enter the portal, a lot of coaches will just move on. Now, there are some who, I always say, if you're a big fish, a lot of times they'll take you back. And big fish meaning you played a lot of minutes this past season. You were one of the key components to the team's success. They'll be like, oh, people will have conversations of like, you can look to where you want to go. And if you don't find it, I'm more than happy to to bring you back, but that's very much so dependent on the coach and what they want to do. We have seen on the men's side, not on the women's side yet, but on the men's side, a few withdrawals from the portal. And that happened within like a day because it's scary out there. There's over 1,500 D1 men in the portal, over 1,200 D2 men in the portal, almost 1,000 Division I women in the portal, and then over 600 D2 women in the portal. So it's scary. And even I was calculating the numbers. So there's for sure over 100 D1 men's basketball players from our conference and then the independents that have entered the portal as of yesterday. I think at this time, after the names I've seen today, it's over 110 players who have entered the portal and will try and find their best fit.
Yeah, those are staggering numbers, number one. As far as the HBCU scene, that could be detrimental to certain programs. Yes. If, like you say, if the coach is not continuing with their recruiting efforts, right? And I recall soon as Texas Southern they found out they weren't going to progress further, Coach Skeet immediately started her recruiting trail. Yeah. And I think that's what you have to do to remain competitive right now in this current space. Now, let's talk about the head coaching vacancies.
Yes.
Sandy Pugh, the veteran down there in Prairie View, she was not going to get a new contract, and she decided to take her talents elsewhere, so to speak. All right. And then you have Morgan State, the retirement there, and Norfolk State, we know, congratulations to Coach Vickers in obtaining his job over at Auburn. We talk a little bit about that, and Alabama State as well. After many years, coaches, she's going to be retiring. So, but Larry Vickers having that opportunity, he's been one of the shining stars in the coaching circles. Beating Auburn really opened up some eyes down there in the SEC. Talk about his story.
Yeah, and I mean, they also, I think the first one was Mizzou. So beating Mizzou first on their home floor, and then, everyone's like, oh, Mizzou's not, they're in the SEC, but they're not that good, whatever. Like people coming up with the excuses. But from him being at Norfolk State and then becoming an assistant on the men's side and then being asked to be the interim head women's basketball coach and then completely just taking over the program, he's left it in a very successful place. 3 back-to-back regular season champs, back-to-back tournament champs, and 3 NCAA tournament appearances in a row, all with, the seeding getting better every single year. Their production obviously hitting number 4 in the mid-major top 25 ranking, which was the highest in school history. I think that, he built his culture and his program, and based on early, other years' success, he was able to use that to get other recruits in to really fill the pieces around what he has. And so winning gets players, and that's it's very hard to recruit players to a losing program, especially a women's losing program. I think there's a difference between men and women, because men will sometimes look at it as, oh, I can go there, get mine, and then be the guy. Whereas women, I think, I'm not saying men don't want to win, but I've seen it's a lot harder to recruit to losing women's programs. And so he built his culture and he left it in a better place, and Auburn offered him and he's taken the opportunity. And I actually think it's quite funny that he beat them. And then they were like, here, come take this job after you just beat us. So
hey, please, coach, you have something cooking down there. So let's take a hold of it. I think it was a smart move by the AD, right? Any surprising coaching moves, in your opinion, has really gone down? Because Alabama A&M on the men's side, they chose not to renew Coach Hooley's contract as well, and they're moving in a new direction. I love how they always put that. We're moving in a new direction, new leadership.
Whatever direction are you moving?
So. Yeah, whatever, right? But when it comes down to these coaching moves, has anything shocked you thus far?
Not really. With the retirement or how they get to that retirement, I feel like all three of them have given many, 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 many years to HBCU institutions. And so obviously we thank them for the time that they've given and, wanted to be a part of this. And I think that's something to say as coaches who are retiring from HBCU schools, who put in years upon years and didn't, they wanted to be a part of what they were building there. I think that's so special. And so I do think, it was time to move on. I love to see fresh, younger coaches coming in because that's just, I'm not saying they were not capable of, being in this day and age, but I feel like just with the climate of college sports, we've seen so many younger coaches now thriving within different coaching spaces. And so I'm really excited to see what all four, including Norfolk State, decide to do with the moves they're making with the men. I'm very happy for Coach Bussey that, he went off to Chicago State. He did great work at Alcorn, and it's not easy. It's not an easy place to recruit kids to because it's literally like,
yeah, I've been there. So I understand.
There.
Yeah.
And so I'm happy for him. I'm really intrigued to see who takes on that job. I envision it will be another, because, Coach Bussey is on the younger side. I envision that will be where a younger coach will want to go. I don't see quite necessarily a veteran coach wanting to be there. And with Alabama A&M, I've seen rumors circulating of who people want to get the job and different names that they're throwing out. I will say, whoever gets it, congratulations to them, and I hope they build success. But I am really hoping they move in a new direction, and it's not the SWAC carousel we see in every sport almost of just kind of flip-flopping coaches with another team. I'd love to see them, bring in someone new who's never been in this conference and really allow them to build their program up.
Interesting. You have a lot of people, especially the old guard from the SWAC, who've really grinded it out all these years, saying, hey, we need these opportunities. We heard that in the football sector as well. Some of those guys were very upset for ADs making the decisions to go and get people with NFL pedigree, right? Mm-hmm. So, hey, that's the trend. All right, Liv, it's been great talking to you. We could talk all day about this because there's so much more to really digest what's happening. The HBCU All-Star Game, that's coming up as well. Diamond Johnson's going to be there, as well as you got a lot of the guys who are going to play on the men's side. But it's exciting to see on the women's side, especially three young ladies who I just adore, who's going to be a part of the broadcasting team. You have Simone Stanley, you have Nia Simone, and you have my baby there, Ty Floyd. She's going to be there as well, calling the game for the NBC Sports and the Peacock Network. Talk about how is it for you, because you've been commentating for a while and you've enjoyed putting on the mic this past year. How inspiring is it for you to see that they're getting this opportunity?
I love it. Two of them are actually my very close friends, Ty and Nia. So I'm very happy for them, and I'm happy that for the players, they're getting this platform to showcase their skills, and that they went with an all-woman broadcast to, represent for the amazing talent we have in this space already. Homegrown talent. Yes. Ty, a graduate of Florida A&M University, Nia, a graduate of Alabama State University. And so I'm so happy for them that they're getting this opportunity. All of them have been, building and working consistently, hard work to get where they are. And so I'm so happy to see that they were chosen for this game, because I just love seeing our own talent being chosen to platform things that are about our athletes, because we have such amazing broadcaster, commentators, analysts, sideline reporters that went to our institutions and are heavily still involved in them. And so I'm so happy for all of them to have this opportunity, and especially for our players to really go out there and just get what the men had for 2 years, and be able to just, play and show what they're capable of. Yeah.
Being an HBCU grad is special, but to see what these young ladies been able to do. I know we've had Laurencia Moulton. She's been a play-by-play for HBCU Go, and now Nia, she's been over there for HBCU Go the past 2 seasons. But the incomparable Tiffany Green has set the standard for those young ladies, and I really appreciate my friend, what she's been doing. Another FAMU graduate. Oh, what's up with y'all, FAMU? What's up with y'all Rattlers? You guys are doing very well, and congratulations to you guys, and congratulations to you young ladies who are going to be doing some tremendous things. I look forward to seeing your career as well as yours, Liv. You're doing some great things as well. Tell everybody how they can find you on the World Wide Web.
Yes, it's Liv For Hoops everywhere. That's just, branding, and it's FOR. So Liv For Hoops on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, TikTok, Instagram. And I'm super excited for next season of what these coaches and any new coaches are going to do. And so make sure you keep up with me.
All right. Now
Taxes is getting the TurboTax app and filing your taxes yourself 100% free if you didn't file with us last year. Now this is Taxes. File free in the app by 2/18 when you switch to TurboTax. Do it yourself.
November is American Diabetes Month. And while nearly half of us have diabetes or prediabetes, every story is personal. There are stories of strength.
Every day is different. Not one day is the same.
Hard work.
No es tenerle miedo realmente a la enfermedad. Es saber cómo combatir la enfermedad.
And heartbreak.
When she passed away, it was because of diabetes.
But no matter your diabetes story, we fight for you and to find a cure. Join us at diabetes.org.
No charger?
It's a Mac. The battery lasts all day. See you next week.
And filing your taxes yourself 100% free if you didn't file with us last year. Pay $0 when you file by 2/18. All tax forms, all 100% free. Now this is Taxes. File free in the app by 2/18 when you switch to TurboTax. Do it yourself.
Happy birthday, Dad.
Happy birthday.
I got you something.
We said no gift.
We had to get you something.
Thank you, honey.
I got you this.
Did you do this yourself?
Yeah, I had a great teacher.
Happy birthday.
I love you.
I love you too.
Love you. Thank you.
This is from me to you.
I am genius.
Something amazing is happening here. Climate researchers are weathering a data storm. That's because CDW transformed their devices and infrastructure with Lenovo ThinkPads and powerful edge-to-cloud solutions, delivering faster insights and increased performance, giving them the scale to stay ready for whatever's next. Make amazing happen. Lenovo and CDW.
I think that what we're dealing with right now is certainly a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call to all of us who thought that the norms that we have enjoyed for the last 60 years in particular, or more, would be norms that we would be able to enjoy moving forward. And I think there's a direct threat to that. And I think it's in all of our best interest that we understand that some of the institutions that we relied on in the past are shells of themselves, or will be, and some will not exist at all moving forward.
Seeing them make their names on these fields and just waiting to see who's going to make it to that big game. I love football. I love athleticism. And for me, I take it as it comes. You know what I'm saying? So this is really going to be fun for me. I use the burgers and the tender just as a reason for me to have to come up here and watch football. I'm excited for the season.
Talk about your partnership with the Houston Roughnecks.
So my partnership, basically, as it is with the Cougars football team, is part of the experience here. We are a hospitality brand, and hospitality is a big part of sports entertainment and engagement, because if you're not having a good meal, it's very hard to have a good time. So we want to be a complement to the game that's on the field. We're not here to overshadow or overtake anything. We just want to make sure that we offer a good complement, make it very easy for people to get food, enjoy food, and it doesn't interrupt the flow of the game. And we want to make sure that people have a great experience while dining, but also not be having to stand in line so long so that they miss the game. It's important to get those people back in those seats so they can root that team on, and we want to be a part of that.
I saw one of your employees coming from the garage, and I was talking with her about being a part of Trill Burgers. Why has it, the employee was happy to be a part of your organization? What have you done to really make it a great experience being a part of Trill Burgers?
Well, as an owner, I'm very hands-on. For most celebrity brands, it's typically a phone-in situation. People invest money or they're given equity to put their name and their likeness on these things. So there's pretty much a contracted amount of appearances that you have to make and obligations. But with me, I'm fully hands-on with this company. I've only missed about 6 opportunities in the last 3.5 years to be a part of where this burger was presented. So for me, it's very important that my employees see how involved I am. But not only that, if you've ever come to a pop-up or seen us when we cook out in public, you see me behind the grill, you see me on the buns, you see me cook fries, you see me take orders, deliver orders, I've sold merch. I've done every job that I've ever asked someone in this company as an employee or staff member to do. So it's very important that people see not just the clients that we want to sell food to, but also the employees that we bring with us, that I care deeply about this company, and I care about them as well, to the point where I would never ask anyone that works with us to do any job that I haven't done before or I'm not capable and obligated in my mind to do. So a lot of our jobs are floating jobs. So some guys may be in this station and they may need to move to another station. If I'm in the building and I'm already seeing that something needs to be done and they're already obligated to do something else in that moment, I'm gonna go over there and handle that. Now, as soon as they can get back to it, they'll take back over. But if there's a job that needs to be done and I'm there and I'm capable of doing it, there's no good reason for me to not do it. And it's important that I'm seen as that type of owner for them, for staff members, and for clients and customers.
Last question for me. You're an entrepreneur. You've been in the rap game for a long time, but you're also a sports fan. Have you ever considered becoming a minority owner of one of the sports franchises here in Houston?
I would love to have that opportunity bestowed to me. I don't even know what the cash minimums or the opportunities that are available for that, but I mean, I know Jim, I know Tillman, and I know Cal, and so I'm gonna put it out there, you know what I'm saying? And I met Danny, so I'm gonna put it out there, right? If there are any opportunities for new minority investment, that is an opportunity that not just myself, but also my company, Trill Burgers, would love to talk about.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you for letting me put that out there.
I do have one last question. I also cover HBCUs, and we know Texas Southern is a major part of the community as well as Prairie View. Have you made or had an outreach to any of those institutions to kind of have a connection with Trill Burgers?
Yeah, so a couple of years ago I spoke when Minister Louis Farrakhan was at Prairie View, and one of the young men that introduced me that day on stage has created a company since then called Reading with a Rapper. I've become a partner of that company, and it's something that's grown within the school district and the youth, and it's offered me another opportunity to connect deeper with people. And so recently he approached me with the notion of, hey, have you given any consideration to opening something or partnering with an HBCU? I'm like, I haven't, but it's not something that we wouldn't consider if someone you should be open to it. And so he immediately reached out to Prairie View. We're in talks of coming down and walking and seeing if sometime between now and possibly fall semester of 26, if there's a way for synergy, but it's still very early in those conversations. Obviously, it's a lot easier to facilitate something like that with a university like U of H, you know what I'm saying? This is a very storied university. It's a larger university. They have great booster system. A lot of HBCUs don't have that kind of funding available, but it's something that we would love to afford to any historically Black college or university in this country, not just those in close proximity. As we grow this brand, we are looking for newer ways to expand this company and connect with the community, and we are known as a cultural brand. So we have no problem bringing our culture into spaces where we don't have to compromise it, and an HBCU would be the perfect platform for that.
Especially when it comes to NILs. Have you considered being an NIL sponsor?
Yeah, we have, but again, we're a very young company. Right now, we're planning on opening 3 more doors this year, so all of our primary funding is going in that direction to open those stores. But as we grow as a company, and again, not just through the city and the state, but hopefully one day around the country, we would love to be able to represent.
A few weeks ago, Coach Tamika Reed told me she believes you have prepared for this moment.
Wow.
Think about that. How do you respond to that?
Again, you know, Coach Reed could be young. She may not be in the legendary status as, you know, Coach Pugh, but such an influential person at this stage in our careers and what she's done here in the SWAC, you know, for years, and what she's built at Jackson State. I mean, that's remarkable. For her to even, you know, even mention that, I think we're a lot away from that. But, you know, having Tamika Reed and grateful, like I didn't come into the league this year, right? Because a lot of people wouldn't understand that, like having to prepare against the Jackson State like that, who had pros who were going and playing at elite level, you know, it did prepare me. It did prepare me, and so you're always great for that journey. Tamika Reed, who faced the LSU and took them right down to the wire, which inspired me to want to come back because I was at A&M at that point, and I remember watching that game, and I remember saying, "Yeah, I want to do that. Like that, we can win that. Like, let me come up with a scheme of like what we need to run at the end of the game for that, you know." And so that is remarkable to say because she will be a legend when it's all said and done too. And so just because she's meant so much to women's basketball and the SWAC and getting it to the place that it is, that is huge accolades coming from her and very much appreciated. Like, and I honestly, I stand in a space of gratefulness for the work that she's done to help me prepare for that.
Hi, I'm Kyle T. Mosley of HBCU Legends on Sports Illustrated. I'm here today with a veteran coach. He's no stranger to the HBCU sports world. Matter of fact, we got him back. And he's taken over the Tennessee State Tigers. He's been officially named and introduced. It's none other than Coach Reggie Barlow. How you doing, Coach?
Man, I am better than I deserve. So excited, happy. Really appreciate you inviting me on your show.
Well, look, Coach, I have to say this, and young people, if you're listening to this, this is a testament to the type of coach that you will be getting if you choose to join him at Tennessee State. Last week, I asked him about an interview with the UFL. None to my knowledge is that he was going to become the Tennessee State head coach. He kept his word, and he's still here today. Thank you so much for doing so.
Oh, yeah. Thankful for being here, and always enjoy spending a little time with you.
Yeah, definitely. Coach, how long have you guys been engaged in talks over there at Tennessee State?
Yeah, I think the initial conversation happened maybe 2 weeks ago. I mean, obviously they want to move fast on that because of Coach George's departure. And obviously, you know, he had done a good job here for Tennessee State. So they definitely want to get somebody in front of the student athletes. With all this stuff that's going on with transfer portal and all that stuff. So had to make it happen really quick.
Well, you guys did. And we're talking about a situation where you were the DC Defenders head coach and you did it so well for the past couple of seasons, especially your first season where you were the coach of the year for the XFL and then they were transferred into the UFL. But filling this vacancy left by Eddie George, it brought some immediate, I would say it brought some immediate excitement to the HBCU land to be able to have you to come back. Why was it important for you to be able to come back and take this position over at Tennessee State?
I mean, I am HBCU through and through. I wouldn't be who I am if it wasn't for Alabama State giving me a chance to be a football player there, the only school that recruited me out of high school. And then, of course, gave me a chance to be a head coach. Then Virginia State, HBCU, giving me a chance. So my fiber is HBCU, and the things that I've learned and the things that I've accomplished or we've accomplished has become as a result of the training and the mindset that we've gotten from our HBCUs.
Yeah, definitely. As far as what you've been able to do, you turned around the program over at Alabama State when you came back to your alma mater. And even when you went to Virginia State, you turned around that program, especially the second year when you guys went to the NCAA Division II playoffs, right? And you guys were undefeated that year.
Yeah.
Talk about your vision for Tennessee State going forward.
Yeah, it's keeping the main thing. I mean, I think we've gotten a formula for how to build a program, the characteristics and things that matter to a program. Our coaches and players, I mean, obviously it starts with building yourself with, populating yourself with good people around your program, people that care about the student athletes, people that want to serve in the right capacity, develop these guys spiritually, mentally, physically. So I think just having that recipe for developing student athletes on the field and off the field, and just really investing in them and not spending time with them, but investing time with them. It's one of the things that we've tried to do over the years, and actually it's worked for us.
It seems like it worked not only on the college level, but on the pro level as well. Just seeing how those young men gravitated to you, as well as how they played very hard for you these past 2 seasons.
Yeah, the UFL that was some fun for us. The XFL was a really good time. Just being able to coach the pro guys. I mean, many of our guys that were on our team, they had been in the NFL for maybe a few years or 1 year, or been in NFL camps and stuff. So it was really cool to see how we were able to train the mind of those guys and the buy-in and be committed to the standard that we had and the standard that the coaches set for them. So just excited and glad that we had a chance to experience that. And that was a fun deal for us. And we had some good teams. Many of our guys made it back to the NFL. So it's always encouraging when you can see that positive feedback.
Yeah. It must have been tough for you to be able to leave right before the season kicked off this weekend. And what was the feeling like from the players, as well as some of your staff that you were taking over at Tennessee State?
I mean, actually, they were really happy for me. I talked to Russ Brand, who was the president of the league, Darryl Moose Johnson, who is the executive vice president, and everybody else that's affiliated with the UFL. I got their blessings. They were all excited for me, looking forward to, supporting and watching us while we take on here at Tennessee State. Our players were excited. Of course, our assistant coaches. There was that immediate, so what, now what? All right, Coach Barlow is leaving. But Shannon Harris, the guy that's taken over, who's an HBCU product, went and played for Tennessee State. It was awesome to be able to pass the torch on to him. And he's going to do fine things, and looking forward to watching those guys play on Sunday against the Birmingham team.
Yeah. I remember our conversation right before the XFL championship. You talked about your staff and how you built that staff over in Washington. Talk about how you're going to build your staff as well as your team in Tennessee State.
Yeah, tennis over here. Obviously, we like having coaches who've worked together before. Obviously, Coach Keiss and Coach Shannon Harris. Those guys have been with us before. Greg Williams, who's an all-time NFL coach and defensive coordinator, who's done a great job wherever he's gone to coach the 2 Super Bowls. So it's a mixture of having guys who work together. We like to have an offensive coordinator and a defensive coordinator, obviously, but we still like to have a guy in that assistant role that also has been a offensive defensive coordinator at some point in their career. So we try to build like that. we try to sprinkle in a little young guy or two to give them that experience, so we can pay it forward. So we try and do that as well, and that's what we'll do here. Greg Williams will be here with us at
Wow.
State. So he was the defensive coordinator here in Nashville for the Tennessee Titans, and we play in that same stadium. And he's coming. I mean, he
knows how to bring it.
Yeah.
Look, you don't have to tell me about Greg Williams, because I also covered the Saints, and I'm a New Orleans native, so I loved everything that Greg Williams was able to do to bring a Super Bowl championship to New Orleans, man.
Yeah.
So I know Coach Williams is going to bring it. So that's great to have him a part of your program.
Hey, I have a fever.
I don't feel so good either.
This is not just 1 hour delivery. This is fast relief for those who can't take a time out. Walgreens.
Something amazing is happening here. In a world of data, people are accessing critical information quickly and securely. That's because CDW architects are building infrastructures with unified data storage from NetApp. With the flexibility to run workloads across any environment, providers experience less downtime, giving them more time with patients. Make amazing happen. NetApp and CDW.
This is not just delivery. This is knowing even superheroes can use a sidekick. Walgreens.
Now Taxes is getting the TurboTax app and filing your taxes yourself 100% free if you didn't file with us last year. Pay $0 when you file by 2/18. All tax forms, all 100% free. Now this is taxes. File free in the app by 2/18. When you switch to TurboTax, do it yourself.
HBCU sports fans, get ready to go big. HBCU Plus is making a big move to the UEN app.
It is a wonderful start to this one.
All of your favorite HBCU games are now broadcasting live on the UEN app. But now you get even more with G League basketball, NAIA, and Miami-Dade high school sports.
Do you believe it?
It's time for you to go big. Download the UEN app to get in on all the HBCU sports action and so much more right now.
Greg is one of the smartest guys I've ever been around from a football standpoint, intelligence and his knowledge, and just the things that he know about the game. We've learned a lot from him over the years. Coach Keiss is also a really good coordinator. He's been with us everywhere we've been. And when we brought him from college up to when we were at the pros of UFL, we led the league in rushing, had player of the year, and Jordan Tamu. So Coach Keiss does a good job as well. He's from or has a home here in Tennessee, so in Nashville. So he'll be joining us as well, and we'll have the band back together. We gotta let them finish the product off that we built this team. So our guys are staying back, and then at the championship, June 14th, after they win that, they'll be heading their way here to Tennessee State.
Okay, all right. Well, congrats to having some of your staff already in place. If you had a message to any coaches or prospective coaches out there, as well as the players, what type of coaches and players are you looking for to be able to be a part of the Tigers program?
Yeah, I mean, here at Tennessee State, from a player standpoint, we want guys that love football. And I think they have to ask themselves the question, when you ask people, how do you spell love? Most people spell it Love. Well, here at Tennessee State, we spell it Time. Because if you love the things that you say you love, you wouldn't spend time with. So we want guys that want to invest time in football. We want guys that care about team. We want guys that are not selfish. We want guys that work hard, guys that are disciplined, guys that are willing to sacrifice for the sake of the university, for the sake of the neighborhood, the community that we have here in this great city of Nashville. So those are the guys we want. And then, I mean, of course, you got to have a skill set to bring with all of that. You got to be able to play. But there's so many good players in the state of Tennessee and bordering states. So we're looking forward to digging in and getting some of those good athletes here.
Yeah, look, you're going to have to dig in immediately to hit the recruiting trail as well, right?
Yeah, recruiting is so important. Obviously, that's the lifeline of your program. And because of, how we came on this late, obviously you have to acknowledge that, but we won't make any excuses for it. It's so what, now what? We got the job, we took the job, and we're here. And anything outside of that is useless information. And we just want to work the task and try to get the guys better. The guys that are in the transfer portal, we're re-recruiting them to come back and be a part of what we got going on. And then, of course, sprinkling in some other guys that we think fit the mold, fit the model, and have the mindset to be a Tennessee State Tiger.
Okay. If you were sitting down, Coach, with a prospective parent, guardian, as well as the player themselves, what should they know about you, Reggie Barlow?
First, that I'm a God-fearing man, that I love family. I am a father and love family and invested in doing right by everybody that's affiliated with our family. They should know that we are extremely passionate about football, that we are extremely knowledgeable about football, that we've walked the walk of what we're asking these guys to do. We've walked the campus of a HBCU, wondering, will you have a chance to make it to the next level? And we did that just through grit, through work, through mindset, through good coaching, good teammates, and all of that. So obviously we'll let them know all of those things. And we also let them know that the product or the kid that they're giving us, that they will be getting a better product of that kid when we give them back.
Wow. Love it. Love it. Man, it's a great challenge for you, Coach. I know you're going to do well. Anything that you need from us over at HBCU Legends, we will always support you on your efforts, man. But I want to ask you this last question. Tennessee State has had legendary coaches like John Merritt, right? And legendary programs as well. But when you look at what Reggie Barlow and Lewis's staff is going to put their fingerprints on this program, what should we expect year one?
Yeah, I mean, you should expect a team that's going to go out and compete at a high level. We understand the legends that have been here, and I'm humble and blessed to have a chance to know that I can walk the campus that John Merritt walked, and all of these great athletes, not just in football, but basketball and track and baseball when we had baseball here. So, I mean, this campus is legendary. This campus have over 121 guys that have been drafted into the NFL. So the standard has been set. Big Blue understands and knows about production. And when you watch our team, you'll see that. You'll see a team that's going to fly around on defense, run and hit. You're going to see a team that's going to run the ball. That's what we've always demanded first. And then obviously be able to take shots and throw the ball when we need to. Outstanding on special teams, detail-oriented. And most importantly, a team that loves Tennessee State and a team that's going to go out and represent for Tennessee State. And as they say here, we got your back, and we just want them to know we got their front. We're going to protect them. We're going to do our thing for them.
All right. Man, Coach, you got me ready. I'm ready to suit up for you, man. You need me. I'm coming down there to Tennessee to be a part of the Blue squad there. Last thing, Coach, how can the young people follow you as well as kind of meet you if they're interested in becoming a part of the TSU family?
Yeah, I mean, obviously on social media, it's so easy to touch anybody. They can be thousands of miles away. But if you're on Instagram or X or all that stuff, for me, it's Reggie Barlow on Twitter or X. It's Coach Reggie Barlow it's at Coach Reggie Barlow on Instagram. And of course, Facebook, which I don't know if they're on that. It's just Reggie Barlow. But
these kids like IG, don't they?
Yeah, they like it. Trust me, I get a lot of messages there, and I don't have a problem with it, man. I say, if you want it and you want it bad enough, you got to find a way to get it. Be creative as you can to get your coach or that coach's attention, however you need to do it, so they can see your film and know that you're passionate about ball.
Definitely. All right, Coach. Can't wait to see you. I think you guys kick off the season in the John Merritt Classic. Is that correct?
Yeah, we obviously that's an important classic to Tennessee State and everything it stands for. So we our schedule right now is the transfer portal. That's what we're kicking off with. You know what I'm saying? And then we'll get to the schedule when we get to the schedule. Right now, the schedule is a transfer portal.
Okay. All right, Coach. Well, look, thank you so much. We appreciate you here at HBCU Legends. That's Coach Reggie Barlow, the new head football coach of the Tennessee State Tigers. You can always follow him on all of those social media platforms he just spoke about, but also reach out and touch him. He's a good man. He's a good coach, and I think he's going to do a great job over in Nashville. I'm Kyle T. Mosley of HBCU Legends on Sports Illustrated, as well as the Black Sports Insiders. Thank you, Coach, for this interview. I appreciate you very much, sir.
Thank you. Enjoyed it. Thanks.
You're welcome. Take care.
Go Big Blue.
Yeah, we're in the process right now of selling teams. We own all 12 teams, the league, kind of like NASCAR in a way. And it's time to sell the teams. It's time for owners to take these teams, place them in different cities, and to cultivate the fan base. And once, we sell those teams, we're going to expand. But right now we're looking for the right owners, the ones that can help us grow, the ones that want to be disruptive, ones that want to carve our own path. Our motto is changing the game.
Yeah.
Because we think that's what's necessary to do something fresh and new. And, so we're looking for the right owners. We would love to have Black, minority women owners get with us at the ground level before we're priced out. At some point the teams are going to be too expensive, and so we're really anxious to find the right partners on the ground floor when they can get the teams at the lowest price available.
Are you guys helping with, let's say, webinars or seminars or something to that nature to help people who want to get into ownership, to understanding the dynamics it would take for them to become an owner?
Well, we haven't really went that wide. Right now we're dealing with a select group that we really want to hone in on, that could be our first owners, and they give us strategic advantage too. They're not just coming in owning the team, but they're going to help us grow. Once those are secured, I think then we'll go out wider to people we really don't really associate with, and see if any of them make the right fit. It's kind of like there's a lot of money out there, but having the right partners, to start, to really start growing this league is just as important as the money.
Yeah.
There were moments where it felt like the weight was too much, but in those times, it was the women around me, my coaches, my teammates, my family, and my friends, who lifted me up when I couldn't see it for myself anymore. It was my best friend, Simone, who gave me hope and a new path to my dream when I was about to give it up. Women are amazing. I'm gonna say it again. Women are amazing.
Yeah, and that amazing woman who just spoke is joining us today. That's Miss Jordan Childs. How you doing, Jordan?
I'm good. How are you? Oh my gosh, that video was so like, wow, you'll make me cry over here.
I thought it was fitting because, everything you have done and accomplished, I was rooting for you as well as millions of other Americans as well as fans across the world when you became the two-time Olympian as well as a gold medalist with the team. You guys did a fantastic job. I've been watching your career for quite some time. Congratulations. And I'm very, very proud of you.
No, thank you so much. That honestly, I can tell you that was my first ever keynote. And
Really?
I was very nervous, but eventually I think once I realized that what I was saying was very impactful to myself, I honestly was just like, you know what? Stop being nervous and just speak your truth. And so I was really, during that time frame, I was like, okay, wow, like these people are really engaged in what I'm saying. Like, this is cool. So I really appreciate you playing that. And, it's something that I'm very proud of myself for doing.
Yeah, you've been very, very busy, and I am proud of you as well as I know a lot of your fans have been, but you've been very busy. I saw you over at the stock exchange, and you were also with the Rockheads as well. You're just living the great life right now in New York City. My son's in New York, man. I know he would have loved to been able to see you, but one thing I like about you and have always loved about you is your great spirit and your spirit to overcome a lot of trials and tribulations. Talk about what's going on with you as well as this great campaign, the Candle Day campaign with Bath and Body Works.
So like you were saying, yes, I have been everywhere. I have been living that New York life recently. It's been really cool just having these amazing opportunities and being able to showcase that I have other things that I can do just, outside of my sport. And having this campaign and this little sponsorship with Bath and Body Works is honestly amazing. Bath and Body Works has been something that I've been able to, live with my whole life ever since I was little, seeing, walking in your house and you smell the candles and you know which candle scent it is and all this stuff. So it's really cool having those opportunities and to see, what else Bath and Body Works can do. So this big day that we're talking about, right, is the biggest day for Bath and Body Works. It's like their Super Bowl, or it's like their Black Friday, or it's like, you see Beyonce walking in New York City. Like, this is the biggest day for Bath and Body Works. And knowing that I can be a part of this, it just means the world. It feels like I'm back on that Olympic stage all over again, performing for my country. Like, it's really amazing. And, they are very authentic to who they are. And that's how I am. I'm authentic. I am very, humble about who I am. I want to give the younger generation something to look forward to. And Bath and Body Works is somebody that I just wanted to be able to connect with and have this, day for them.
Well, it's a great day. People love Bath and Body Works, especially the scented lotions and perfumes and things to that nature. But one thing is great about them, they have holiday candles and holiday themes as well. Talk about your favorites.
I honestly so my favorite holiday candles are typically from Halloween all the way until Christmas, because those are the holidays, right? Mm-hmm. So my favorite really scent when it comes to holidays, like during the fall time, is their pumpkin scents. And I think it's really cool because I feel like when you smell it, it feels like they have pumpkin latte. One of them is pumpkin latte, and you smell it, it smells like a pumpkin latte. And I honestly just think having the ability to create scents as if you were baking, or as you were cooking something in your house, or you made coffee and you didn't even make it and somebody walks in, I think that's really cool, because it's like, especially for kids, and they go into their parent and be like, Mom, did you make cookies? No, it's just a candle. Like, I think that's really cool. But definitely my favorite, holiday is Christmas. And so the Christmas candles that are out right now, whether it's winter candy apple, whether it's, cinnamon or something that's along the lines of those, sweet sides, I think it's amazing. It's amazing smell. I love the 3-wick candles. They're amazing.
All right. And I heard not only that you get to partake in the great scents and everything for the holidays, but I read you have a special holiday Christmas gift that's coming up for you and your family. You're going to be here in H-Town to be able to see Beyonce on stage at halftime for the Ravens and Houston Texans game. Talk about that. Talk about being a part of the Beehive.
Yes, the Beehive. I'm forever a Beehive. And I'm also an H-Town hottie. So, you got to put two and two together. But I've been a Beyonce fan since Destiny's Child days. I know it's probably crazy because I was born in 2001, but I still know their music and I still know what they did with the culture and everything like that. So it's really cool to know that somebody like Beyonce has gone through and navigated throughout her whole life and become the person she is. She is the top person in pop for the 21st century. Like, come on, that's literally right. The great. She's a queen of pop. Like, so yeah, giving this opportunity to my family and also being able to watch an icon, a legend on a day where everybody gets to come together and celebrate, I think is really cool. It's never something that you just be like waking up in the morning and have the opportunity to be like, yeah, I'm going to a Texans and Ravens game and get to see Beyonce. That's very rare. You don't get that. So as a Christmas gift to my family, I was like, y'all want to go? I was going to go regardless. Like, but y'all want to go? So just being able to have that ability to do that for my family, I think is really cool. And, again, everybody was like, oh my gosh, I get to see Beyonce. Some people were like, oh my gosh, I've never watched the Texans or the Ravens, or some of them were like, I've never even been to a football game. So it's really cool just to be able to, have that. So I'm really excited. I like Christmas. We're still opening presents and doing our traditional stuff that we do, but we're just going to add a little football game in the midst of it.
All right, great.
That team tonight couldn't threaten us, but that's because they're brand new. That team's going to be a good team in January, and the people that know basketball will understand that. The ones that don't, you can't tell them anything anyway.
Coach Sampson, Kyle Mosley from HBCU Legends on Sports Illustrated. I spoke to Coach Williams, and he said he considers you a mentor. That's why he keeps scheduling you guys to be able to test his team and push his team. Talk about him and your relationship.
Well, my relationship with Mo started when I was the head coach at the University of Oklahoma, and he was an All-American point guard at the University of Alabama. One year we played him in Madison Square Garden. I think our team was ranked top 5 in the nation. I'm pretty sure they were too. But at least both teams were top 10 teams. So that's when I first got to know Mo. And then the 6 years I spent in the NBA, we started developing a little bit of a bond. And I've gone out of my way a lot to help young coaches, especially young black coaches. And I've made my gym open to them every summer. And I've had a lot of staffs come through here. We open up our meeting rooms. We watch film. The best thing you can do in the coach in the offseason is keep your blade sharp. You have to do that. Mo has a burning desire to get better at his craft, and he's going to get better. I was a head coach when I was really, really young. But the only reason why I was a head coach when I was really, really young, I had jobs that nobody else wanted. I was NAIA coach in Montana, and that was not a pat on my back. I was the 6th coach in 3 years. So that's not like, well, you did great. I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. And my wife and I had to figure some things out, but I'm really excited about Mo. I love how hard he works. That McMillian kid, nobody will remember him because everybody's going to spend most of their time blowing us up. That kid's going to be a good player. I talked to one of my former assistants at Tulane, and he was talking about how hard they recruited that kid, and Jackson State beat him on it. That kid, his first game ever he played for Jackson State was tonight. Their whole team, they're going to be good.
Yeah,
they're going to be good. Don't put a period at the end of this game for them. Put a comma. There's more to come. This doesn't end anything like us. Don't put a comma at the end of us. We look good tonight. Okay, that has nothing to do with how we're going to play Saturday. It's a whole new ball game. But I love playing guys like Mo because he's good for young people. Jackson State is perfect for Mo. I know he was at Alabama State? Is that right?
Short time,
Yeah, Alabama State, and he goes to Jackson State. That's one of the great things about HBCUs. They provide great opportunities for young coaches like Mo. But that's not going to be his last job. Mo will keep rising in this profession.
Thank you, Coach. I'm here with the Hall of Famer, Mr. Warren Moon. Warren, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. I'm in Houston, and we're not Minute Maid anymore. I've got the new name.
Dakin.
Got it. I just found that out about a week ago.
Yeah.
But back in Houston, I got my grandkids and my kids here tonight, so I'm having a great time.
Well, look, it's good to see you as always. Talk about the impact of helping HBCUs, just being a part of this event.
Yeah, what Travis is doing is really great. I think this is the third, fourth year he's done this. This is my second year doing it, and it's a lot of fun. Got a great crowd out here, raising money for the HBCUs. There's a lot of young athletes at HBCUs that go unnoticed because some of the programs don't have the facilities. They don't have the right coaching, all those different things. So they just need funds. They need more financial support, and that's what events like this do. And I'm glad to see that Travis is looking at that and seeing how important it is for all these young kids to get the same opportunity as Division I kids.
Okay, last question. NFL, this year was quite the year for the black quarterback.
Yes.
Jaden Daniels, he made his run, but Jalen Hurts, how proud of you for what he's gone through to get to this point to be now a Super Bowl champion?
I love his perseverance. He's been told every level that he can't play the position at a high level. I was told those same things, and here he is a Super Bowl champ and his second Super Bowl. So there's a local kid from here. I've followed him ever since he went to Alabama. His journey to Oklahoma and then coming into the league, he's gotten better every year he's been in the league. So that shows you he's working at his game. He's got great work ethic. A really hard worker on and off the field, does a great job in the community. So he's just a total package, and I'm so happy for him.
Yeah, and congratulations to you for being a Houston Hall of Famer last season as well.
Thank you very much. That was big time because there's been so many great athletes that have come through this city in all sports. For me to be recognized as one of those was something that was very, very special to me.
Well, you deserve it, sir.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.